Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going over the top teams for Illucia the Unveiler for endless mode. If you guys are in hell difficulty right now, I recommend running the team which was the best for you in the previous week. That should be able to clear hell difficulty today. But if you want some other team recommendations, I will give you a bit of my opinion. Now, what I want to begin by talking about is the more free-to-play friendly or budget team options for Illucia. There are a lot of good ones, even for Endless today. Now, one I want to show you is this one. If you have Rainier at Mythic Plus, it is one you can try with the Illusion Fresto in front of Rainier in front of Sinbad. So when you're buffing up Sinbad and Mikola, and main Fresto in front of Mikola. If you do not have Rainier though, there is another team which is doing almost just as well, or actually sometimes even better, on endless difficulty using Kruger rather than Rainier. So Kruger can take the place of Rainier in a lot of the teams shown for Illucia. Now, another thing is that if you don't have Sinbad, you can use Merrily, because Merrily is good for endless Dream Realm bosses. She can be a good replacement even for Sinbad. That is something to keep in mind. So what I want to show you guys right now is we're going to go ahead and run the more free-to-play friendly version with Kruger rather than Rainier on endless difficulty with the Blade Summon spell. A lot of the best artifacts for today are going to be the Blade Summon, other than the overall top performing team. So Kruger, I think because the fact that he can physical defense debuff the boss to increase your Sinbad and your Sonya's damage, or even increase Merrily's damage if that is the hero that you're running, it ends up doing really well for this boss, and people are doing even better with it compared to Rainier, which is something kind of unheard of. Normally Rainier is always the best option. But you can basically try this team with Rainier or Kruger in the same position. Sinbad is the best damage dealer choice if you have him, but like we said, Merrily for endless bosses is going to be great. So 41.7 billion damage with that team, only basically using Fresto out of the Hypogean Celestials, so it is a pretty budget team option, but it is using Sinbad. And don't worry, if you don't have Sinbad, you can run that exact same team and swap out Sinbad for Merrily, for example, and that is going to be this team comp we have here. And this one should also do fairly well. Not as well as Sinbad, of course, because Sinbad just deals a lot of damage to Illucia. But this is not a bad option either if you have Merrily built. But it's kind of funny because Merrily was always considered the most free-to-play option. But the thing is, as time has moved on, Merrily has become less of a priority. So if you've started in the last few months, you might not even have Merrily built. But if you do have Merrily built, then you can try this team basically. Yeah, another good damage option just in general for the Illucia is Floribel. So you can try using Floribel as a damage dealer. That is what we did run in previous rounds of Illucia. However, for Endless, the damage will be low. So 40.3 billion damage with this team, which is very respectable considering the fact that it doesn't have Sinbad, it doesn't have a Rainier, it just has Fresto, and then these other more basic heroes which a lot of people have built up. So that is great if you can run that. Okay, now we're going to move on to, I just want to do a quick run actually of the Rainier version and figure out, we can actually skip it and see, is this actually going to be better than the Kruger version or not? Okay, it is going to be a little bit better, 42 billion damage, but it is within the realm of RNG, so it is close enough that maybe Kruger could even be better for some people. But basically, these three teams are going to be the top team options for a lot of the free-to-play and budget players out there. But now we're going to move on to the more expensive teams that are going to do even better. So we have this team from EBZ and Sybil. It is exactly the same formation, like basically main Fresto in front of Mikola, so when you're buffing up Mikola and Harak, but rather than Sinbad is running Harak and Illusion in front of Kruger with the Blade Summon spell. This team has gotten, I believe, for some people, up to like 50 billion damage, I think, or maybe 46. I don't know, we'll see. So Harak is actually working in Illucia. This is what I expected. Like, you know when Illucia first came out on Vietnam server, before we even had the update to Season 3, and we were doing testing like for pre-endless bosses, I thought Harak was going to work, but then the problem was Harak gets turned into a cat, and after he devours a lot of your allies, he's basically the only target to be turned into a cat, and he's almost always going to be in that form, and so like you miss out on a lot of damage potential with Harak. But like as you can see here, even up until the end, Sonya is still alive, which is great. Harak was not turned into a cat for that long, and that's 49.6 billion damage, which is a very impressive score considering no Rainier in this comp, just using Harak and Fresto. So if you have those two heroes built, you can get a really competitive score for today. Okay, but now guys, we're going to move on to the even more powerful team. So we have a Frosty's team. Again, two Celestial Hypogeans, Rainier and Twins, Sonya and Sinbad, because just proving how powerful that combo is, and Kruger in the corner with the Blade Summon spell. As for the twin placement, it is Lila, pink-haired in the front, blue-haired Elijah in the back, Rainier in front of the Elijah. And it's just about the Blade Summon spell. So the reason why you don't put Rainier in front of Sinbad for some of these teams is because it ends up causing maybe too much early burst damage or something. It changes the mechanics of the fight that actually is better to have Rainier off to the side. It's not fully like kind of understood why, but that's basically what I can understand from it. So Sinbad is going to deal a lot of damage along with Sonya. This is a very effective team, but definitely if you can get the legendary charms onto Sinbad, that is going to take this team onto another level, because whoever your dedicated damage dealer is in the team, that is the hero you want to have their legendary charms of. So if it's Harak, then Harak legendary charms, but if it's Sinbad like in this team, you want to give Sinbad legendary charms if possible. Looking at it right here, we're going to get around 49.4. There's going to be RNG in this. In Illucia runs, just in general, there's a lot of RNG in this boss. So you will have to do multiple runs of your best team to actually get your top score. Because this team has gotten up to over 50 billion damage for some people today. But I'm assuming it's probably with legendary charms onto Sinbad, which we do not have. But as of right now, I did around about the same as the Harak team. And okay, but now guys, we have the overall top team, which is also the most pay to win team because it's using 3 Celestial Hypogeans, Twins, Freesto, Harak, Sonya, Mikola with the Harmonic spell. This one also has a huge amount of RNG. We're going to have to do a lot of runs to get our top score, but we will take a look at one run right now. So the idea behind this is, and I thought this was eventually going to be the meta, because you have 7 different heroes on the board who can all be transformed into the cat. That is going to allow more uptime for your damage dealers. Sonya is buffing up Harak and Mikola. Your Elijah blue-haired is going to be in the front, and pink-haired Lila in the back. Main Freesto in front of the Lila, and the Illusion in front of the Harak, so the Illusion can be devoured first with the Harmonic spell. So this team can work with Blade Summon, or it can work with Harmonic, but Harmonic is overall considered better. And because Harmonic gives the high stat value to your team, especially if you're topped off on health, it gives the maximum, like I think 45% attack buff or something to your allies, which is such a huge amount. So Illucia is like kind of the Snow Stomper boss of the season, in that she has a lot of RNG involved in her fight. Because of like the timing of everything, the crits that you land, if she is able to burst any of your heroes because their damage output is high as well. 12 seconds left. Okay, looking pretty good. But now Harak is turned into a cat, which is problematic, and that is 48.6 billion. Okay, guys, we got a new record. Okay, we did one skip run, and we got this huge record, 52.4 billion, and that is going to put us in the rank 1 position. But this is a high RNG boss. Let's find out what went right in the second run that we did. But I thought we would have to skip way more than that. I was not expecting to hit it so early. Okay, so I mean, the beginning of every fight is probably going to be pretty similar, but then it will just come down to precisely the damage output of the boss and the timing of the transformations. And I think really it will come down to, like, right at the end, you want to have your Harak not being transformed into the cat. And so you will have to have enough, like right now we have 5 surviving allies. So that is going to be great for the Harak. And they both survive here, Mikola and Sonya. Sonya gets turned into the cat. Harak is still attacking. He devours, and he gets another ultimate. Yeah, that is what you need to happen. Basically, Harak, I think in the first run we did, he got transformed into the cat towards the final almost 10 seconds. But this run, we got perfect uptime of his damage. So anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully it was helpful, and you were able to use one of these teams to get a top score in the boss today. If there were any other teams which worked for you, feel free to share them in the comment section. That can help out other viewers. And if you guys are not already subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. We're on our road to 20,000 subscribers, and also hit that bell icon so you're notified whenever we upload a latest video. And guys, join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. We have 2,750 active members, and I look forward to chatting with you guys there. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.